All right, so today we're here with Adrian from Green Scene. We're walking you through the steps for a home inspection. We'll lead you into that.
Yeah, so this is a 2005 home, and I expect to see some deferred maintenance, things that haven't been taken care of, maybe some damaged screens, some things along like that, and some outside wood trim that's some damage. There's a few things that do need to be addressed, like a flue going through the roof that's touching the wood. It's a safety concern because those combustibles, we don't want anyone to get in any danger, or things just like missing smoke detectors, simple things like that. But there's also some upgrades to the home where there's a radiant barrier installed. That's nice to see. It's falling down in some places, but it's easy enough to fix. Overall, I think this inspected like I would expect, maybe even a little bit better than that. I'm glad to hear that there was a warranty for the foundation work that was done so that if there's future concerns, the buyer has a chance to potentially use that if needed.
And one of our favorite things about working with Adrian and just Green Scene in general, we've done several inspections with them, is they do a full video, they take the notes, they actually line everything out from red, green, yellow, most important to least important, and then really walk you through with our client. It went absolutely phenomenal, walking through the summary and then just everything in a quick recap. He is able to recap and everything, depending on the size of the house, in roughly 20 to 30 minutes. So just absolutely phenomenal job, and thank you.
You're absolutely
phenomenal.
It's a pleasure. Thanks.
And without further ado, here's the whole inspection.
These are primarily going to be matters of safety, things that are broken, conditions that could damage the house. And lastly, the state of Texas requires me to give you my opinion of the home as it stands today. Just know that I would encourage you to fully read through the report because all of the detail will be in the written report, not necessarily in the summary. That being said, I want to share all the information that I have. So the first thing I do when I come up to the house is there's a water meter there and there's a set of digital numbers. I watched them for a couple minutes. Those numbers did not increase in value. That's a good thing because I want to make sure that there's no leaks on the supply side. Also, that's where your water shutoff is. At the water meter, there's a little spot here that if you needed to shut the water off, I just want to let you know where that is.
I feel like always if you don't already have one or it's not in the garage, that's a tool that's worth the $15, $20
absolutely.
to get, because in an emergency, you just twist it.
Yeah, if water is leaking somewhere. I am also checking the water pressure. I look for it to be between 40 and 80. It's sitting around 70 PSI. That is good for me. That's for my reference. Same as that, you don't need that. Yeah. Yes, that's the gas meter. You have 3 gas items, the cooktop, the water heater, for the fireplace, and then your furnaces or your heating. All of that is gas. So 4 things that use gas in the house. You might notice on the corner there are some cracks. Those are very common. Those are not structurally concerning, but anytime I see cracks, I'm going to take pictures of that and give contextual info. There's also a retaining wall here that you share with the neighbor. You might notice some little hairlines, stair-step cracks. It's not heaving or bowing or anything, but I did take a couple pictures of some cracks there. This is more of just me saying, hey, you may want to monitor that, keep an eye on it. Really the concern becomes is when it starts bowing out or bending, because then that lets you know that the thing is not supporting against the soil. Coming around the front here, no specific concerns. You might notice some of the downspouts are connected to an underground drain. They have these little green heads that will pop up and dispel water if and when they get full. It looks like they've recently installed some drainage in the back and also this in the front. Driveway looks fine. I don't know if you can see this. There's this kind of square area. Did they disclose any previous foundation work or repair?
Yeah, so they did some pier work.
Okay, yep. So when I see cuts in the concrete like this is consistent with foundation repair work. And I just take this picture to remember to tell you, you may want to ask for any warranty information that may have been done. Perfect, then you are well on your way.
And that's in the seller's disclosure and in the packet, so we have all that.
This fence here, you can see the rub marks just from opening and closing the gate. But I was looking at the hinges, it feels like something's a little loose that needs to be tightened so that it doesn't rub and scuff up the patio.
It's a handyman.
Yeah. So this thing over here, I don't know what, this is some type of table that maybe they had something placed in there. What I'm specifically taking a picture of is the wood and the rot there. I suspect maybe in the past the sprinkler system sprayed on it, or they didn't paint it all the way, or something is causing the wood to rot there. So just
I'm planning on getting rid of it.
Okay, then we can move on. There obviously is the French drain that they installed. I agree with you. I'm going to come up to it, but overall, no concerns here. here, yeah, there's the dirt. You know, it's not affecting the house so much, but I get where you're coming from. It may take some sod to cover over that so that grass can grow. I don't know what the solution is, but yes, it does look like they left a little bit.
And these are things, like on some of that stuff, we still have the option period to say, hey, if they're not going to do any more work, we can say, hey, maybe get a couple bids quickly, or just say, hey.
I would tell those people I paid $4 million to for the French drain to come in.
Yeah,
Not even.
we could ask them to try to ask them to come back, or say, hey, this is going to cost $300, $500 in cleanup, and we don't want to get too much with it, but we could ask them for different things for sure.
I'm looking along the fence line here. You can see the daylight coming through, and obviously the wood boards are loose there and there. I specifically was curious if they have a pool next door, because pets and kids sometimes want to explore. It doesn't look like they have a pool, so I'm not snooping in the neighbor's backyard, but I just wanted to verify so that from a safety standpoint. So this stone retaining wall there, it's not so much that it's bowing, it's just that it's being pushed in. I suspect some of the soil over time has just fallen out, and so, or maybe maybe it was poor craftsmanship. It's hard for me to say. It's not so much that it's providing support to the foundation, but it is bending in there or dipping in. There's a better shot of that. I'm wondering if they just didn't do a great job. No concerns there. You have two AC units. This first one is a train. It's a 2017. It's a 4-ton unit. This is the one that services the primary area of the house, most of the kitchen, dining room, bedrooms, and then you have a secondary one for the primary bedroom. This black stuff on this refrigerant line is just loose and deteriorating in some spots. I'd like to see a new application of that.
On the secondary one?
Yeah, sorry. They're both train units.
Okay.
In fact, both of them need this, so the applicability is for both.
Okay.
And that's just something you can buy.
Yeah, yes. After about a year or two, they start to look like this, and seldom do they get replaced, but this is a good reminder. I also took this picture, specifically the one for the primary bedroom, bathroom, study area. It's not level, and so what that can cause is uneven wear and tear on the motor at the top. I just like to see that balanced out a little bit better. And then this is an example of that deterioration, or where it's not, they put tape around it, but it's just loose. There's still that line that gets exposed, and it's more energy loss there when that's sitting out like that.
Do you think those units should be inspected by?
So we're coming up 9 years. They're still cooling to the temperature marks I look for, but it's also only 65 degrees out. It is not a hot day, so I'm not putting a lot of strain on the system because it's just not a hot enough day to warrant it. But it is hitting the temperature marks. I would recommend having them generally serviced and cleaned just for any time someone new is moving in. But in general, they don't look like they're in bad shape. There are some solar screens installed on the exterior. That's just specifically the west side, so that's where the sun sets. It gets pretty hot. Nothing wrong with that. It's more of just an FYI. You can see some damaged wood here where it's just been exposed. It's absorbed water. Some of the paint has peeled off. This is outside of the primary bathroom area, so the bathtub's on the other side of that window.
This is where the retaining wall that we just talked about.
That's a little bit further. This is on one side of the AC units. The retaining wall was on the other side, so it's about 15 feet away. Oh, same wall. Yes, thank you for clarifying. This window here, you can see slight little gaps in the caulking. I always recommend having new beads of caulking in areas where there's little cracks or gaps, so very common. Also, caulking around the brick and the exterior light fixtures, that is also recommended.
Was that a rip screen on the bottom right?
I mean, there is one there. I think there was just a little, let's see if we can zoom in here. Yeah, there we go. There is not a lot of cracks on the exterior, but there was a little stair step one there. Very common, not really even structurally concerning. Just, again, I just have a habit of taking photos of cracks when I see them so that I can give you info. This is outside of the garage. I couldn't get this light to turn on. In fact, both of them. I turned on all the switches I could find in the garage. Maybe there's one hiding or blocked somewhere, but both garage lights did not come on.
Could it be also as simple as the bulb?
Yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
Simple as the bulb?
Yep.
Yeah.
I replaced all mine.
Here's your garage door openers. The reverse sensor worked fine. It fits the opening well. I did notice on the right-hand side, you can see little dents and dings. Maybe a football being thrown against it or something. It's not like majorly damaged, but you know, I do this a lot. I just look for these things. Another reverse sensor working fine, fitting the opening well. That one looks good. Here is your water heater.
And it's gas.
Yes, it is. It's Whirlpool is the brand. It's a 2010, 16 years old. So
that's where the home warranty could come into play.
yes, it's working fine. They have the temperature set super high. It is about at 150 degrees, 155, which is super hot. Anything above 120 can get to those scald scalding temperatures, so I would recommend turning it down. Also, there's a fair amount of corrosion on the top here. These are the water lines coming in, and that rust is starting to form. I've had water heaters. This is a common point where they start to fail. What is happening is you have copper, brass, and stainless steel. Those metals vibrate at different frequencies and cause this corrosion. So you can have these inlets replaced. It's pretty simple, but anyways, just keep an eye on that.
My question, because I never had gas, and I've had water heaters go out, in fact, flood one house, but they're always electric. What happens to a gas water heater if it becomes
As long as the gas
thing or something?
as long as the pilot light is lit, you will continue to have hot water. It doesn't require electricity to have hot water, but it does require electricity to start the flame to heat the hot water. So as long as the gas is continually running, hot water is
Is this in the garage?
Yes, it is.
Which is a great spot for it. Which is it?
Or it could bust open if it had to.
Never good, but the best spot.
You may notice in the garage it's hard to see here, there's a crack along the ceiling, and then it continues on into the closet where this is still where the water heater is. So this is definitely a stress indicator. I'm glad to see that they have done some corrective measures to make adjustments to the foundation, but I did want to point out the cracks there. I kind of think so. There's also a gas line there. This is still in that water heater closet. It looks like there was the potential to put two in there, and there's a gas line for it. Just this home probably only needed one, so that's here in the garage. This outlet under the shelving is loose. That's all. You have quite a few outlets in there. Here is your electrical panel. I push these buttons to make sure the safety mechanism works. It did. I take the cover off, look at the inside. Honestly, this looks like exactly what I would expect to see. My house is also a 2005. My panel looks exactly like this. I make this recommendation a lot. These white wires are just supposed to visually be black or red. So people will color them with a Sharpie or use black electrician's tape. So my report will list a few things, but nothing that I think warrants getting an electrician out here. I'm standing at the electrical panel looking up above the garage door, and there's just a hole in the ceiling there that I would recommend patching over. The reason being is if there is a fire in the garage, we want to separate that fire from spreading in the house or up into the attic. And so patching that is going to be recommended. No,
What do you think was there before?
I'm guessing someone just poked it, cut. Someone from the attic stepped down on something. I don't think anything nefarious is there, just an area that needs repair. This is coming outside of the garage. You might notice here there's some of this fascia board material that's deteriorating, and they painted over it, but just something to keep an eye on. Squirrels tend to want to chew and gnaw on some of those areas.
That's outside of the garage?
Yeah, just outside of the corner of the garage. Yeah. Front left corner. There was another crack here. This is also outside of the garage. Again, not so significant that I think there's any major reason to have foundation repair work done, but I'm gonna take these types of pictures. This light did work, this one did not. Again, bulb is most likely the culprit, or a bad bulb. I don't know if this shows as well as I wanted, but it looks like there's just some damage to the gutters. Maybe other people have put their ladder against it and bent some of the guttering. It's not terribly damaged, but okay, yeah, the roof itself honestly didn't look bad. That's where I'm going up next. Did they disclose how new or old it is?
Isn't it 2025? I think it says on that book. I'm pretty sure it's 2025.
Okay. It looks, I was gonna say it looks within its first 5 years, but I'm not seeing a lot of concerns here as I'm working my way around. So I'll go through these a little quickly because it's just,
We got that info.
oh, I did want to take this picture. I'm at the peak of the roof. There is this powered vent. It is a fan that spins around, draws out the hot air from the attic. This one was spinning and making noise. This one was not. You have two of them. So I'm taking these pictures because I heard it, and then when I go into the attic, I'll show you what I saw. Because here's the attic. You have two attics, one in the garage, one in the hallway. This is the garage attic. There's not a lot to see here. You can see some boards for storing and stacking things. They also have, I'm gonna back up two photos, or a photo. You might see this silver backed material called a radiant barrier, and its intention is to deflect heat so that your attic doesn't get as hot. But when it falls down like this, it compromises that. So I just would like to see that reattached, restapled, or however they adhere it, because a couple of those pieces are loose. The middle part is intended to have a gap there so that the hot air can go up and out through there.
Fan might be accident.
Yeah, exactly. Over the main portion of the house, they don't have the same material, but they have sprayed a radiant barrier. It's kind of like a metallic gray paint that they put on there. Let's see, no issues there. I'm checking out insulation. I'm looking at framing members. This is the fan that is working. This is the fan that is not. It's hard because I know where they are in the attic, but the east side fan was the one that works. The west side fan was the one that did not. I suspect that either there are wires here and it appears to be wired. Sometimes these wires are cut or they do something when they install a new roof. I suspect that's what happened. When they installed the roof, they did something, jostled something, disconnected something, and this is no longer working. So whose responsibility is that? I'm not sure, but I would recommend having that fixed. Since you have it all there, you want to draw that hot air out. This is where your air handlers are. Your hot and cold air are going to go through here. There's your gas line. These are the same age as the outside units. This thing going out through the roof is called a flue. It takes the hot gases out. What I'm specifically looking at is this piece of metal gets very hot and it should not be touching any wood because we want a 1-inch clearance around that because we don't want to start any fires. So definitely have that piece of wood cut. And this is a common recommendation I make.
What is that called? The thing that...
Yeah, it's the heating flue.
Okay.
And it is touching wood or the roof decking.
Plus, if they have it at 150 degrees.
Yeah, those get even hotter. Well, that's the water heater is 150 degrees. The flue gets probably 200 or hotter. It gets pretty warm.
Heat.
Yes, exactly. The other thing I didn't love about it is, so this is the whole unit. You'll notice on the left side there are these holes. HVAC techs will cut little holes, stick probes in so that they can check how hot or cold the air is, but they're supposed to seal that back up because this is just going to waste heat or cooling, and there's ways to fix that. This was just whoever worked on it was not being very considerate of the homeowner, and yeah, there's 3 or 4 holes there. There's another one on the top here on the return side, so it's not huge, but it's just nice to fix those things. This flue is not touching anything, so that is good. Or it's got the 1-inch clearance I look for. This is a carbon monoxide detector I keep with me, and it read 0 the whole time, so that is good. There is the ladder. I took this picture because I wanted to show you how the hinges, it doesn't sit flush to the floor, and as a result, the ladder kind of is wavy. So it's just the way that the ladder's been cut, and that's what causes extra pressure on these points. I think 7 out of 10 ladders look like that. Here I am checking the heat, just making sure it's blowing above 90 degrees. I'd point my temperature gun at the register and then just show you which room I'm in. All of the heat was working fine. Here's the other thermostat, and again, no issues from a heating standpoint. So I'm gonna come inside the house, gonna work my way around the front house, or the front, starting with the front door. It looks like maybe it's been sprayed with sprinklers or rain. There's just a little discoloration there. It's nothing major. There's no wood rot or anything, but just something to keep an eye on.
They sell breastplates with that protected or
yeah,
not?
that's probably not a bad idea.
I don't know why indoor lantana. I don't know if it's dusty or what, but it feels like all the doors do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why we've had it. Yeah, I've had to repaint it a couple of different times. Though you can have someone sand it and paint it for a few $100s. Yeah, nothing crazy.
One of the things I'm looking at is in the laundry room, there is the garage entry door. Today's standards say it should have a self-closing hinge. The idea is we don't want carbon monoxide from our cars or the water heater coming inside the house. So that's a newer standard than when this home was built. I wouldn't expect to find it here, but these are the things I call out. The laundry sink was working fine. I filled it up, let it all drain. This is the temperature coming out. That is super hot. So that is about as hot as I've seen. The outlet on the floor.
No, I mean, it's good. Is it good?
Yes, the outlet has power. The problem is it's super loose. You can see there, just the screws that should be holding that in place are not. Here is the main bathroom. I'm gonna start with the sinks here. Those stoppers worked and drained fine, no issues. In fact, the plumbing throughout the house all checked out really well. Both the shower heads were working. I also spray all around the shower to make sure the enclosure is watertight.
Yeah.
It is, no leaks. This is the toilet flushing properly. I noticed when I closed the shower door, that's what this photo is. There's this piece of, it's a shower sweep.
Yeah.
And you can see that it's just missing some of that at the end. So just a new,
Place that on mine.
yeah, it's pretty common. It gets wear and tear. The jets and the jetted tub all work. I also wanted to show that this outlet in the bathroom is dedicated to this jetted tub. So if for some reason this doesn't turn on, you may have to push in the reset button on there. So I just wanted to show you which.
Is that the GFCI?
Yes.
Okay, got
exactly.
it, yeah.
Here's the half bathroom. This all checked out properly, toilet flushed fine. Here's
Make the water not get hot that much difference in a farther bathroom. Is it traveling that much farther?
I may not be letting it run as long. I just am making sure there's hot water there, and obviously, yeah, it's so hot that it doesn't take very long. Here's the hall bathroom. Sink stopper there was working fine. Bathtub stopper was good, shower head was good, toilet flushed fine. And then I realized there was a second sink. This stopper was the only one that wasn't watertight. I filled up the sink and came back about 30 minutes later. It had drained on its own. Then I'm checking these doors and floors, and I'm back to the front door. I'm gonna go around the house again and look along the walls. I'm coming into the laundry room. I'm checking the dryer outlet to make sure it has power. It does. And that's a sideways photo of the laundry connections, just making sure those turn on. And then this outlet is not GFCI protected. When this home was built, it wasn't a requirement for laundry rooms.
Want to get this laundry?
Yeah, laundry room. And I wouldn't expect it, but again, these are the standards I'm held to. You do have a couple window issues. This first one, yeah, I put a piece of blue tape right in this breakfast area. You'll notice I have my flashlight holding it up because this window won't stay open independent on its own. The springs on the side or the guides on the side are not functioning, so that window just comes down with a lot of pressure. I am in the office area. There's a little kind of horizontal crack there. Nothing that is significant or stress-inducing. Another crack there. This window also has an issue with the guides. You can see this piece of metal here. That usually goes up as the window goes up. It's functioning fine, but the guide here is damaged and sticking out like that. But functionally, it still opens and locks and latches like it should.
So
This is the guide that should be holding the window up, but it's kind of sliding out of place. And then you do have a stress crack in the drywall here. Here's me a little bit closer looking at that. That was really the only stress indicator on the inside of the house. All right, looking up along the ceiling here, this fuzzy photo is trying to show you're missing a smoke detector in the bedroom hallway. I'm gonna check the appliances in the kitchen. The dishwasher ran through its cycle fine. Garbage disposal was working. The vent hood and light were working. Same for the cooktop. And then that's the gas shut off for the cooktop. That way you can shut off the gas locally to that if you ever had to have it replaced or repaired or anything like that. The oven, I set at 350. It's heating right at 350. And then this red light in the microwave is my sensor that lets me know it's working properly. So that's saying all is good there. Kitchen faucet and sprayer are working as intended. I let all of this water drain through the sink. Nothing was leaking. And then warm water there. Okay, now I'm checking the AC. The temperature I'm looking for it to come out is around 60 degrees or colder. You can see it's well below that. This is also where your filters are changed at the ceiling. Here's the other unit, 46 there, 65 there, and the same size filter, 12 by 24. All right, this last set is the sprinklers. You are wired for 9 stations, so I'm gonna go through them in order. Zone 1 was all pretty much working as expected. I didn't see anything damaged. You do have, it's slightly spraying onto the walls there.
set it forward. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little rotation of that would help. Zone 2 is along the front yard here. Those are all working. Zone 3 also along the front yard and all working. Zone 4 along the front yard and yep, doing their job. Here's zone 5. Now I'm coming onto the right side of the house. So this is in the backyard. 2 things with it. One, you can see this one sprays onto the walls and this one sprays onto the air conditioning. We just don't like to, yeah, we just don't want to, it's okay for these outside units to get wet, but just daily spraying from the sprinkler system tends to shorten the life.
You really need one there.
Yeah, there's no grass.
Just watering the AC.
You could probably just cap that off.
Yeah.
Zone 6 is along the backyard. Those were all working. Are spraying onto the walls a little bit there.
So when you just move like
Just
just tilt the
adjustments.
heads, like just yeah, those are easy peasy. Like it's just turning it on and tilting.
We have these that spray onto the patio. So if you put patio furniture there, they would get wet. Same for zone 8. This one also starts to spray close to where I'm standing.
But you feel like easily if you twist them and tighten them, you can not have them go as big.
Yeah,
as
that's my
flowery.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yep. Zone 9 is your last one. It's along the left side here. Those are all working, continues on there.
But those ones like not right here, but right there, those are working well enough for you feel like if you did twists, you could shorten it and they work.
Yeah, it depends on the type of shower head. Some of them have a little set screw on top that you can,
you can
rotate,
tighten and loosen.
and some don't, so it depends on.
And those parts at like Lowe's are like $10 and $12.
Yeah.
So not a big deal. They twist right
It's
in.
a Cody job. All right,
Yes.
Cody by something.
Yes.
The sprinkler system was in the off position when I got here, so I put it back there. So if and when you move in, just know that it's currently in the off position. And then I do check for a rain sensor. Usually it's on the gutters or the fence line somewhere. I just don't see one. They may have never installed it. That's my last photo there. I like to put in this closing slide just in case you need if you need any help with connecting utilities, water, gas, electric. This is a free service we offer. We can plug in your address. It'll spit out what is available at what price, and you can have someone on kind of shopping for your best interest, not trying to sell you stuff.
And I also sent Jenny on a text every single thing that's currently hooked up right now on one sheet.
Okay.
And exactly
And who it's with.
and who it's with, and their phone number and their contact, and then even the average utility bill in this house has been about $125 to $200 a month, even in not
good.
bad. Yeah, 250 I think was the average or something. So low. Yeah. So I think the bills normally, especially in Lantana, are pretty reasonable.
reasonable.
Yeah. So it was great when
I'm
I saw that.
excited not to have a septic tank.
I'll send that to you again, just so you know too, because that was a good document, I thought, of every service.
This last slide is just some contact information in case you need to get a hold of me. My cell phone number will be in the report. This is also a way to get a hold of our office, and that's it. Thanks for using Green.
So my question to you after all that, it sounds
Yeah.
like not anything really needs to be done.
I will go through the report and have these red, yellow, green buttons that will help give you some guidance. So, for example, the red ones will be the flue that is touching the wood.
Right.
So that's a safety issue. Or the missing smoke detector. That's another one of those red issues.
Is there only one in
But-
this whole house?
Smoke detector? No, you have them in all the bedrooms. It's just the one in the hallway is
See,
missing.
my house is from 1994. We only have two. One of
Gotcha.
one now.
Yes. Yeah, now the standard is each bedroom and nearby hallway are supposed to have one. So that will help give you some guidance on things that might be important, but obviously CJ and Bailey will be super helpful in discussing what you want to do.
One really important question, I feel like, if this was your home, what things from and what you've seen today would you have fixed by the seller?
I will say that I don't mind answering that. The mileage varies though, because sometimes you know that they've already come down on price and things like that. But if all things are negotiable, I would absolutely fix the flue, the powered fan that's not working. I think keeping your attic less hot is kind of important, and it's already installed. It's just probably a wire that's loose. Next would be, I wouldn't replace the water heater, but that corrosion on the top there was only gonna get worse over time, and I may price out how much is it to replace that inlet, that piece of metal that sticks out on the top.
Just the inlet.
Yeah. The windows are important to some, not to everyone, but the one that doesn't stay open. And I will say that they have gone through the extra expense of adding the radiant barrier and the powered fans. Those are not usually present on homes, so they've gone above and beyond in some of those things, which is good and beneficial.
Is there if there was like any one most important thing from what you saw today?
Yeah.
Just nothing to do with asking the seller.
The
what would be
flue touching the wood.
Yes, so getting that inch around.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's just,
He said the hole in the garage ceiling too.
Yes.
yeah, that's less
So whole,
It's easy.
such an easy fix, but yes.
Said like,
have nothing to do with the seller, just repair those out of pure safety.
Yeah, replacing the wood is the right choice, long-term solution. Everything else feels pretty secondary, less concerning. Yeah, considering the age of it.
Yeah, the warranty extends and goes to her lifetime warranty. And the company's been around for a long time. It's not like a fly-by-night. I mean, that's all in the paperwork and the seller's disclosure. And then we've got that to her. They said, like, if these houses were to all float away, this one would probably not.
My cell phone number will be in the report. Call or text if you have any questions or if something isn't clear and you're reading through the report again.
Hey, thank you. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, you're so phenomenal. Like, your video and everything, thank you. We look forward to working with you more this year and stuff. So Bailey and I.
Yeah, it's nice. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's very nice of you to say. I look at the house as if my grandma was going to buy it, and what things would I want to make her aware of?
If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. We really want to show you the home inspection process. So if you're buying a home, you can see what a great home inspection looks like. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.